Donald Trump's Soviet-style spokesperson, Liz Harrington, appeared on a program called, I guess it's called Absolute Truth. And I believe this is part of Lindell TV, the television channel of pillow magnate Mike Pillow. This is so great. Here's the question I have for you before we look at this clip. Do you think that MAGA is genuinely so disconnected from reality that the confusion cited by Liz Harrington is real, or is it just posturing? Trump's spokesperson says Trump doesn't understand why Sidney Powell and Jenna Ellis and Kenneth Cheesebro took guilty pleas. Why would they do that? He just doesn't get it. He's really confused by it. Here's what she had to say. Do you buy this?
How does the president feel about these former lawyers or his former associates pleading guilty? What are his thoughts on these developments?
Well, I think he's a little confused because, look, if you're a lawyer, you know that there's no crimes here. According to the law, there's literally nothing to plead guilty to because there's nothing that was, no laws that were broken in speaking out against a fraudulent election and telling people to watch hearings and petition their elected officials about fraud that was happening, on camera. I mean, so it's just surprising. But,
there's a different perspective here. The other perspective would be, if you see multiple lawyers pleading guilty, since they're lawyers and at least in principle they know the law, maybe when the lawyers all start pleading guilty, it would suggest to you that there is a crime, because the lawyers are pleading guilty. Now, Jenna Ellis, tears in her eyes, pleaded guilty, read a statement saying she did stuff wrong and so on and so forth. Sidney Powell pleaded guilty, but later said she was extorted and coerced or something along those lines. Haven't heard much from Kenneth Cheesebro one way or the other. If I see a bunch of lawyers pleading guilty, my first thought is they must have seen the writing on the wall and seen that these cases were really, really strong. Now, one other thing about this. The idea keeps being repeated that these folks have been charged because they gave an opinion about the election. It has been stated and restated ad nauseum that they have not been charged for their opinion that the election was stolen. If the election was or wasn't stolen, either way, they're allowed to say that, and they're allowed to say that in public. That's not why anybody has been charged. That's not what any of the charges relate to. They engaged in conspiracies to disenfranchise voters and to defraud the election. That's what is at the heart of this. And what I would love to see, I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. I would love to see Trump use this defense in court and to go into court and to say, it is my right to say the election was stolen, which of course is true. And it is not a defense to any of the charges. So that's what we're really waiting on at this point, whether Trump is or isn't confused. Do you really think Trump's sitting there going, they didn't do anything wrong? Why on earth would they plead guilty? Is Trump that dense? I think the answer might be yes. But the real test will be, does he convince, and are his remaining lawyers willing to make this argument in a court of law, that they're going after Trump because of what he said and violating his First Amendment rights? Those aren't the charges. And usually when in court, you make a defense to something you haven't been charged with, judges don't like it. I look forward to seeing it. Let me know what you think. What do you expect once these criminal trials get going? So I wrote another book for kids. The first book was Think Like a Detective. The point of the first book was to teach kids critical thinking, which Republicans don't want them to learn, because when kids learn critical thinking, they don't vote for Republicans. The new book is Think Like a Scientist. This is a fun adventure teaching kids the scientific method. Again, Republicans aren't big on kids learning the scientific method because when they do, they're less likely to fall for Republican lies about climate change and vaccines and so many other things. You can get the new book as well as the first one at davidpakman.com/book. This is part of the Adventures in Thinking series. Can you imagine that we're doing this? We are. davidpakman.com/book. 13,500 copies of the first book have sold. I'll bring you an update soon on sales for the second book. Think like a scientist. davidpakman.com/book.